Long before skyscrapers and highways, before Texas even existed, there was a dream, a Spanish dream. In 1718, Spanish explorers and missionaries arrived in this land, establishing what would become one of the oldest cities in North America, San Antonio. They came with a vision of expansion and faith, seeking to secure the northern edges of the Spanish Empire against encroaching rivals. They built missions, not just churches, but entire communities. These were self-sufficient hubs of colonial life, places where Native Americans were taught religion, farming, and European ways of life, creating a unique social structure in the wilderness. Life revolved around the mission bell. It called the community to prayer, to work in the fields, and to the defense of their homes. These missions became the heart of the region, providing stability in an often unpredictable and dangerous land. But life was far from peaceful. The settlers faced constant threats from every direction. Conflicts with native tribes, particularly the Apache and later the Comanche, made every venture outside the mission walls a risk. Harsh weather, from blistering droughts to sudden floods, and the devastating spread of disease made survival a daily struggle. Yet the settlers endured. Through sheer resilience and a shared sense of purpose, they transformed the river valley into a home. They built homes, farms, and a culture blending Spanish and indigenous traditions, a fusion that defines the city's identity to this day. This blending of cultures can be seen in the food, the language, and the vibrant festivals that still fill the streets of San Antonio. As the 18th century progressed, the small settlement of San Antonio de Bexar grew in importance, becoming the capital of Spanish Texas. The military presidio and the civilian villa grew alongside the missions, creating a diverse and bustling frontier society. The grand architecture of the mission stood as a testament to their ambition and their lasting legacy in the New World. But as decades passed and the world beyond the frontier changed, the stability of Spanish rule began to waver. Rising tensions in Mexico and changing political winds in Europe were about to reach the gates of San Antonio. A new power was rising, fueled by the same desire for freedom that was sweeping across the American continent. Spain's control would not last forever, and the next chapter would bring revolution, war, and a fight for freedom. The era of the missions was ending, but the battle for the heart of Texas was just beginning. Join us for the next chapter of San Antonio's history, where the cry for independence will change the map of North America forever. In 1821, Mexico gained independence from Spain, and San Antonio became part of Mexican territory. The winds of change were blowing across the frontier. But independence from Spain was only the beginning of a much larger struggle. Tensions soon began to rise between the Mexican authorities and the growing number of American settlers in Texas. Differing views on government, religion, and law created a widening divide. By 1835, the spirit of rebellion had taken hold. Minor skirmishes quickly escalated into full-scale war, and at the center of it all stood a small former mission that would become legendary, the Alamo. Originally Mission San Antonio de Valero, it was now a fortress for a small band of defenders prepared to face the impossible. A group of Texan defenders, including legendary figures like Davy Crockett and James Bowie, made their stand here. They were farmers, lawyers, and adventurers, men from different backgrounds united by a single cause, the defense of Texas. But marching toward them was a much larger and well-equipped Mexican army, led by the formidable General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. Santa Anna's forces far outnumbered the Texans, surrounding the mission and demanding unconditional surrender. For 13 days, the defenders held their ground. They endured constant bombardment and the psychological toll of a siege with no hope of reinforcement. Despite the overwhelming odds, they refused to surrender, sending out letters pleading for help that would never arrive in time. On the final night, a heavy silence fell over the Alamo. The defenders knew that the morning would bring the final assault. But in the early hours of March 6, 1836, the Alamo fell. Mexican forces breached the walls in a final bloody struggle. Every defender was killed. The silence that followed was heavy with the weight of sacrifice. San Antonio had become the site of a profound tragedy. But their sacrifice was not in vain. The news of the Alamo's fall spread like wildfire, igniting a new passion for the cause. Their sacrifice became a symbol. Remember the Alamo, a cry that would echo across the plains of Texas. It was this cry that fueled the final victory at San Jacinto just weeks later, where Texas finally won its independence. San Antonio was now part of a new republic, a city transformed by war but standing tall as a beacon of liberty. The city began to rebuild, but independence brought with it a new set of challenges and complexities for its diverse people. Independence brought new challenges, and San Antonio would soon find itself at the crossroads of cultures, conflict, and change. The story of the frontier was far from over, as the city prepared to enter a new era of growth and global connection. Join us for Part 3, where we'll see how San Antonio evolved from a frontier outpost into a modern American city. Stay tuned. In 1845, Texas joined the United States, and San Antonio entered a new era. The frontier outpost was now part of a growing continental power. The city quickly became a vital frontier hub, a crossroads where cultures met, traded, and sometimes clashed as the American West began to take shape. Commerce thrived in the plazas. San Antonio was the gateway to the West, an essential stop for supplies heading to the California gold fields and beyond. During this time, German immigrants arrived in large numbers, fleeing political unrest in Europe and bringing new traditions, architecture, and industries. By the mid-19th century, San Antonio had become one of the most culturally diverse cities in America, a unique blend of Spanish, Mexican, German, and American influences. Their impact was immediate, from the creation of the King William District to the introduction of modern brewing and stonemasonry techniques. But life on the frontier was far from easy. As the city grew, so did the tensions on its edges. Conflicts with Native American tribes continued for decades. Law enforcement was often weak or non-existent in the vast territories surrounding the city, leading to an era of legendary lawmen and outlaws. San Antonio earned a reputation as a rough-and-tumble town, where the line between order and chaos was often as thin as the dust on the street. Yet through it all, commerce thrived. The post-Civil War era brought the age of the great cattle drives, with San Antonio at the heart of the boom. Cattle drives passed through the city on their way north to the railheads, pumping millions of dollars into the growing Texas economy. The city's merchants and bankers prospered, and San Antonio solidified its position as the commercial capital of the Southwest. But the greatest transformation came in 1877, when the railroad finally connected San Antonio to the rest of the country. The arrival of the train signaled the end of the true frontier era. Goods and people could now travel in days instead of weeks. San Antonio was rapidly modernizing. Gaslights, streetcars, and a growing professional class transformed the town into a true commercial center. By the turn of the century, the city was no longer just a Texas outpost. It was a connected global player on the American stage. As the 20th century approached, San Antonio stood ready for modernization, but the biggest transformation was still ahead. The age of flight, the military boom, and the birth of modern San Antonio were about to unfold. Join us for the final chapter, where we'll see how San Antonio became the city we know today. Stay tuned. The 20th century brought rapid and unprecedented change. San Antonio was no longer a frontier town. It was a city standing on the threshold of the modern world. During this era, San Antonio became a major military center, with historic bases like Fort Sam Houston playing a crucial role in the nation's defense. It was here that military aviation was born, as the city became a training ground for the brave pilots who would take to the skies. As the world plunged into war, San Antonio's bases expanded rapidly, becoming massive cities within the city to train hundreds of thousands of troops. During both world wars, the city contributed soldiers, resources, and groundbreaking innovation to the national effort, earning its nickname as Military City, USA. The city's economy boomed as it became a vital logistics and medical hub, supporting the Allied forces across the globe. But San Antonio wasn't just about war. The post-war years brought a renewed focus on the city's internal beauty and identity. In the 1930s, a visionary project began that would forever define the city's identity and become its most iconic landmark. The San Antonio River Walk was born from a desire to transform a flood-prone river into a vibrant urban park. It was a masterpiece of landscape architecture, creating a peaceful sanctuary in the heart of the bustling downtown. A network of walkways along the river filled with shops, restaurants, and culture, it became one of the most famous attractions in the United States. Today, the Riverwalk is the heartbeat of San Antonio, drawing millions of visitors who come to experience its unique blend of history and charm. In 1968, San Antonio hosted the World at Hemisphere, marking its entry onto the global stage as a modern international city. By the late 20th century, San Antonio had grown into a major urban center, blending its deep historical roots with a dynamic modern life. The city's skyline continued to rise, reflecting its growing status as a leader in healthcare, tourism, and research. Through all this growth, the city's greatest strength remained its people, a diverse community that honors the past while building the future. The fusion of cultures we saw in the Mission era now manifests in world-class art, vibrant culinary scenes, and some of the country's most beloved festivals. Traditions like Fiesta celebrate the city's rich history and its enduring commitment to community and culture. But the 21st century would take San Antonio to a whole new level as a global city of culture, business, and opportunity. The journey of over 300 years is just beginning its most exciting chapter yet. Thank you for joining us on this historical odyssey. From the missions to the modern metropolis, San Antonio remains a city like no other. Keep exploring, and we'll see you in the next story. Goodbye. Today, San Antonio stands as one of the fastest-growing cities in the United States, a city where history lives side by side with innovation. In the 21st century, San Antonio has transformed into a global player, leveraging its rich past to build a dynamic and prosperous future for its nearly 2 million residents. Its economy is a powerhouse, driven by world-class healthcare, a massive military presence, and a rapidly expanding technology sector. The military remains the city's heartbeat, with Joint Base San Antonio serving as one of the largest and most critical defense installations in the country. Millions of visitors from across the globe are drawn here every year, not just for the landmarks, but for the vibrant, living culture that fills every street. Revitalized areas like the Pearl have become international models for urban renewal, blending industrial history with modern culinary and artistic excellence. This energy is best captured during our many festivals, where the city's deep-seated traditions are celebrated with a modern, inclusive spirit. Yet, despite all this rapid growth and modernization, San Antonio has never forgotten the roots that anchored it in the Texas soil over 3 centuries ago. The missions still stand as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and the Alamo continues to tell its legendary story of sacrifice and courage to new generations. And the Riverwalk continues to flow through the heart of the city, a green sanctuary that connects the past, the present, and the future. From a small Spanish outpost in 1718 to a global metropolis in 2026, San Antonio's journey is a profound story of resilience, culture, and transformation. It is a story that belongs to all of us, a testament to what can be built when diverse people come together with a shared vision. As we look toward the horizon, San Antonio stands ready to lead, offering a world of business, culture, and opportunity to all who call it home. We hope you've enjoyed this complete journey through the history of San Antonio. It's been an honor to share this story with you. If you enjoyed this series, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories of the cities that shaped our world. Tell us in the comments, which city should we explore next? Your suggestion could be the subject of our next historical documentary. Thank you for watching, and keep exploring the incredible history that is all around us. From all of us, thank you for being a part of this odyssey. Goodbye for now.